Genesis chapter 13, Abram and Lot. So Abram went up out of Egypt, he and his wife, and all that he had, and Lot his nephew with him, into the Negev, the south country of Judah. Now Abram was extremely rich in livestock, and in silver, and in gold. He journeyed on from the Negev as far as Bethel, to the place where his tent had been at the beginning between Bethel and Ai, where he had built an altar, and there Abram called on the name of the Lord in prayer. But Lot, who went with Abram, also had flocks and herds and tents. So something I'm noticing is that he constantly calls on the Lord in prayer, right? He's building an altar. He's calling the name. He's praying. It says, now the land was not able to support them, that is, sustain all their grazing and water needs while they lived near one another, for the possessions were too great for them to stay together. So there was strife and quarreling between the herdsmen of Abraham's cattle and the herdsmen of Lot's cattle. Now the Canaanites and the Perizzites were living in the land at the same time, making grazing of the livestock difficult. So Abram said to Lot, please, let there be no strife or disagreements between you and me, nor between your herdsmen and my herdsmen, because we are relatives. Like, don't fight. Don't have strifes. And it says, is not the entire land before you? Please separate yourself from me. If you take the left, then I'll go to the right. Or if you choose the right, then I'll go to the left. So instead of choosing for himself and choosing the best one, Abram, he's like, let's not have any strife. You just choose whatever one you want and then deal with it. Do you ever do that in life where you say, just go ahead and do whatever you want to do, and then you get angry because you told that person to do whatever they want to do and you didn't trust God? So Lot looked and saw that the valley of the Jordan was well watered everywhere, and this was before the Lord had destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. It was all like the gardens of the Lord, like the land of Egypt as you go to Zoar at the south end of the Dead Sea. So then Lot chose for himself all the valley of the Jordan, and he traveled east. So they separated from each other. And Abram settled in the land of Canaan, and Lot settled in the cities of the valley and camped as far as Sodom and lived there. But the men of Sodom were extremely wicked and sinful against the Lord. They were unashamed in their open sin before him. And the Lord said to Abram, after Lot had left him, now lift up your eyes and look from the place where you are standing northward and southward and eastward and westward. For all this land which you see, I will give to you and your descendants forever. What? Abram's like, let me show you all this stuff, and I'm going to give all of this to you. He didn't have it at the time. He didn't have anything at that time, right? And I will make your descendants as numerous as the dust of the earth, so that if a man could count the grains of dust of the earth, then your descendants could also be counted. So do they even have any kids? They don't even have any kids at this time, right? Not at all. And he's like, you're going to have so many descendants. You're going to have a whole lot. Like, we're descendants of Abraham. And how can you even fathom something when you don't even have it? So here he's hearing this from God, and he's got to believe and trust it. So arise and walk around in the land through its length and width, for I will give it to you. Then Abram broke camp and moved his tent and came and settled by the grove of the great oak trees of Mamre the Amorite, which are in Hebron, and there he built an altar to honor the Lord. He honored and trusted God. Even when he didn't see it, he didn't do it. And that's why Abraham is called the father of faith, because you're going to see this over and over. God's telling him to go do this. I'm going to tell you what you're going to have, even though he doesn't see it. So this is your daily Bible chapter, reading God's Word Monday through Friday. See you tomorrow.